Good evening, a foreigner in the Philippines, welcome. We are back from Tagbilaran, where we've been up with the family of baby Faith, and you will already have seen a video about that with as much information as I have. So now we're really going on to talking about Dennis. Well, it's been quite a hospital week with the big blue truck acting as a homemade ambulance taking people to where they need to be in the hospital. Baby Faith you know about, and Angie, the young girl, 19-year-old, who had the cyst on the back of her head. Apparently, as far as we know, that's all good news. It was examined by an extremely kind, generous surgeon who said that he would do it there and then on the spot. He was on duty where we saw him doing examinations and consultations, so he couldn't do it right then. But he said, if you wait until 1 o'clock, which we were able to, we waited until 1 o'clock and he did the surgery, and he said everything looks fine. And he said he predicted that the autopsy would bring no bad news. So Angie is back home, all smiles, as is her family, no doubt. Now, I'm going to count that as 2 out of 3. Now, nothing that I did in my life could prepare me for what we're doing now. We actually said, Beth and I, because of how incredibly time-consuming taking people to hospital is, we actually, at one point we actually said we're not going to take any more medical cases. Yeah, well, you know how that goes. It's impossible to turn people away, and one that along with baby Faith, well, they're all hard to turn away. You cannot, I cannot turn them away. So we brought you the case of Dennis, and Dennis came to us a year ago, and he had a tumour in his right leg, which was between the groin and the knee, and it was huge. In fact, Beth called him the boy with the giant leg. Not done facetiously. That's Beth in her English as a second language way of titling things. So we took Dennis up there. Now, when we took him up the first time, it meant that we had to leave him because I can't drive back in the dark, not from... we ended up doing half the trip in the dark, but it is dangerous because people drive without lights. The road is quite narrow. It's in the process of being widened, but it's a tricky drive. So I prefer not to do that. So we left them, and we left them with the money to be able to either stay if they wanted to, or to come home by bus or by van. They decided that they would come home, and they got home late last night. So that meant that they were coming back with us today because they didn't actually see the surgeon. Well, we waited for an amount of time with them just to make sure that they knew where they were going, what they had to do, that they were in the right waiting area, and that they knew what to do. Now, as luck would have it, we got through our 5-hour wait with the family of Faith to good news, and then we came out and we went in to the area where Dennis and his girlfriend are waiting. This part is really tough. We saw the surgeon. The surgeon was slightly older than the last surgeon that we spoke to with Angie, and he saw the biopsy and he gave us the news that that taking off the leg is not the cure. It's not the cure. And Beth and I talked this over back and forth for a while before we decided on actually releasing this information, because it's horrendous. We're releasing it because probably the family of Dennis are not online anyway. Neither will his friends and neighbours. So we feel also that he needs help and support, so it's only by getting his case out that we will be able to do that, and we're still not there with the money that we need to help this boy. Now he goes into surgery. Well, he's going to be scheduled on Friday when we go up for hopefully to bring home baby Faith. We're going to take Dennis up there and hopefully to get him, well, the surgeon assured us that he will be admitted, and he said that just at the mention of his name he will be admitted, and he will be admitted as this surgeon's case. As he said, this is not a cure, so taking off the leg doesn't do it. Apparently this boy Dennis has been something of a hero, and nothing unusual there. He is in incredible pain and will not be able to withstand the amount of pain that he's in as long as the leg is left on there. So it has to come off. And it goes right up into the groin, which I always thought would be a delicate operation, which I'm sure that it is. He's an accomplished surgeon. He is the bone specialist. I voiced this concern to him, and he demonstrated that it would go up to the side, right up into the actual the bone joint. So, God, I'm trying not to say this, but in fact the boy only has maybe a year to live. So amputating the leg is only so that he can have a year of relatively pain-free time, just to give him a little quality of life. The operation which he will be having either Friday or probably Monday. The operation is 40,000 plus. I think, I'm not quite sure, because as you know I don't do the figures. I don't take in all the donations because I have enough to do with answering comments and stuff. But I think that we have somewhere like 10,000 or 15,000 maybe that we need. But we're going in on a leap of faith. We can't do otherwise. So we're going in on a leap of faith, and we're hoping that we will get the support that we need. We've never been let down yet. So this is a particularly heartbreaking thing. We count ourselves lucky that we got Angie through without any problems, and we are over the moon that baby Faith seems to be on the straight and narrow for getting well, or at least getting over this particular surgery, which has in some to a degree has been reconstructing of parts of the spine. Don't quite know how that's gone yet, because we haven't spoken to the doctor. But Dennis is the tough one. All right, no complaints, no complaints from him. No, I don't know how he did it. How did he did it? We went on our way home. He's been told this I think actually that from what Beth says, the surgeon spoke to him at length in Visayan, but then he spoke to me and Beth in English, and he told us the bad news. I didn't know, because I don't speak Visayan, to my shame, I didn't know whether Dennis actually knew. Well, we left the surgeon, and we went out into the waiting area, and this is the kind of hard reality of life. We talked to the girlfriend, and I think up to that moment she at least did not know that he had only been given a year to live. She took that incredibly, I thought. Yes, there were tears, but she didn't collapse and go to pieces. I assumed that once we got into the truck, which was later, by that time Dennis also knew. But he was still upbeat and cheerful. Go figure. And we stopped on the way home, and we got something to eat, and we went into the restaurant and we had food, and there was no being glum or complaining or crying or anything. Heaven knows what, I'd have been a mess, I think. And he just got on with it. That was the news, and that was the cards that he'd been played. That was the hand he'd been played. So that's the situation on Dennis. Not very good and not very happy. If you can, please help. Beth's idea is that by releasing the information, that's reality. Also, with her sense of prayer, she thinks that maybe we can pray for a miracle, and I'm all for that. So, thanks for looking in. The update on Dennis. Hope you're not watching this late at night. And we'll be talking soon. We're taking Dennis back again on Friday, and that will be when he faces his challenge. And then, if it's anything like Baby Faith, we'll be bringing him home soon after that, and the logistics of doing that will be a challenge for us, how we can do that in comfort for him, because he'll be coming home in the blue, and we will do what we can to help him. Once we get home, how we'll get him to his house is another thing. I've tried to explain to Beth, you know, this boy will have lost an enormous amount of flesh and bone from his body, and he's not just going to get on a pair of crutches. So right now we're looking for a wheelchair. We're going to look on Lazada and see if we can get a wheelchair delivered fast, and then at least we will be able to put him into a wheelchair. But then, you know, it's a multi-cab. So we're going to need some help. I have to pay some guys to help us to lift him in and put him into the truck. It is a multi-cab, so there's a big back seat, so maybe we can lay him out on that. I'm really not sure. We'll think about it more, and we'll work out a solution. So thanks for looking. Keep us in your prayers. We have a lot of challenges right now, and they're all to do with people facing life and death challenges. Thanks a lot. You can like, comment and subscribe, of course, and hopefully you might share this or the other video about this boy. It's a cruel blow. Bye for now.